Hi guys, we're in the heart of Rome, and there was the preview of International Journalism Festival. In my company there is Chris Potter, that is the creator with Arianna Ciccona of the International Journalism Festival. The first question is, and probably now we are at the 7th edition, and probably you heard this question the first year, is an International Journalism Festival. Why? What's for?
What's it for? Good question. What's it for? Well, without journalism, there's no democratic society, and without democratic society, the Western world wouldn't exist. So one leads to the other. It's emblematic of the changes our society has gone through in the last 10 years, and the media plays a fundamental role in our lives, our daily lives as citizens, and therefore we have music festivals, literature festivals, science festivals, and it seems to me a journalism festival is absolutely necessary also.
Okay, it's very nice because in the heart of Italy, that is the heart of Europe at least, in a small town like Perugia, as you said before, there is this important international event. Well, my last question, because it's a very short interview, is like, what changes happened since the first edition till now, that is the 7th, in the festival?
Well, perhaps the biggest change is the way we can communicate with the world. I mean, remember 7 years ago, which isn't that long, but 7 years in terms of the social media revolution is a generation, is a century. 7 years ago when we started, we still had to print leaflets to publicize the existence of the festival. Now we can communicate with the world from our computer in our home in the countryside in Umbria. So the advent of Facebook, Twitter, and all the online repercussions have totally dramatically changed our working life, as they have changed your working life and everybody else's working life. So we, by a curious twist of coincidence and good luck, started the festival not knowing the social media revolution which was about to arrive, but we have ridden the wave of this change to allow us to become a large event, starting from a very small base in a provincial town in the middle of Italy. It's a very improbable story, and we've been lucky with the timing. And as we say, right place, right time makes all the difference, and we were lucky.
Now Perugia, it will make Perugia bigger and bigger in a cultural way.
Well, yeah, culture is a big word. I mean, we for 5 days a year we do the festival, and we hope it contributes something to the city of Perugia. Certainly, Perugia contributes an enormous amount to the festival. If you hear what the international visitors in particular say about their reaction to and experience of Perugia, they love it. I mean, it's an extraordinarily beautiful place to have a festival. Remember most professional conferences, events, etc., held in conference halls, maybe on the outside of some large city, whereas the festival takes place all in the historic heart of Perugia. The speaker arrives from New York, goes to the hotel in the center of Perugia, and every single event over 5 days, 200 events, he can walk to by foot. There's never a need to take a taxi, a bus, a metro. Everything is walking distance in the pedestrianized town center. In springtime Umbria, what more do you want for a festival?
Yeah, you know, I can tell by my experience that like a small piece of the festival, because I lived it, like the experience of the festival since 4 years almost. It's very amazing that you walk on the street and you see all the big names, from printer to media and television, whatever. They're all together in the same small town that is like a journalist town.
Yeah. Perugia for 5 days becomes the world center of journalism. And it's the world center of journalism in the sense that these important figures are not closed in a conference center. They are living, or they are enjoying Perugia out in the open, walking up and down the main street, having a coffee, as you say, and all the attendees of the festival not only can see them and say, oh, there goes Seymour Hersh, or there goes Al Gore, they can actually go and talk to them, they can interact with them, and that feeling of approachability, accessibility, and informality are fundamental characteristics which determine the success of the festival.
Yeah, and I have to add that the important thing is that everything is free for the first time.
Everything is free. It's a philosophy which we believe in very firmly. No paywall here. In fact, most of the very revolution which we talked about before, the social media revolution which we've been living through worldwide, is reflected in this. So, you know, instead of having a barrier, a cost barrier, which keeps some people out, we prefer to have everything open, and anyone who is interested is able to come and participate, and that's a key element, and it will remain so.
And that makes the festival not just for journalists or professional, but for people, for everyone.
Exactly. The festival is for professional journalists, aspiring journalists, non-journalists, people who were journalists and don't want to do it anymore, and everybody else in between. So you have the big speakers, the little speakers, the big attendees, the little attendees, and it creates a unique ferment of, let's call it creativity, and an experience which people, speakers included, seem to enjoy the possibility of repeating, and for that reason the festival is growing, or has been growing every year since it started, both in terms of number of speakers and the size of the audiences.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. Good luck for the next 7th edition that will start from 24th to 28th of April. Thanks for everything and good luck.
See you in Parigi.